Hello, you're watching Global Talk. The Eurasian Economic Union opens up for Russia and Kazakhstan economic diversification as well as modernization. The forum participants discussed about bilateral cooperation as well as the integration into the single economic space during business forums as well as roundtables held in the capital of Astana. The forum participants also noted that the removal of barriers of trade, goods and services positively impacted their country economically.
Today we held a roundtable devoted to the problems of inter-regional cooperation, inter-regional partnership between the regions of the Russian Federation. And accordingly we're discussing the possibilities that we have not used in terms of inter-regional cooperation. The situation in which associated with each other regions of Kazakhstan and Russia found themselves. And accordingly we were discussing the possible ways in which this cooperation can be optimized, in the interests of the population of the regions, in the interests of the two countries.
Очень велика роль приграничного сотрудничества, хотя сейчас от этого термина эксперты предлагают.
Cross-border cooperation plays an important role, although now experts suggest to retreat from this term. Cross-border cooperation, but above all, of course, the regions which are located in the border area. They provide the greatest economic cooperation between the two states. For the regions of Kazakhstan, which are located in the border of the imports from Russia, is absolutely part of the share of all imported products. So that's why the economies of these regions hurt, in particular by the economic situation in Russia and ruble devaluation. Although, of course, consumers, as we know, have benefited from the fact that the prices for the Russian production decreased. That is, it is the most sensitive area and, of course, it deserves the most attention.
То есть это наиболее чувствительная зона, и, конечно, она заслуживает наибольшего внимания.
Нужно выходить на более качественный уровень с тем, чтобы население интегрированных стран
We need to go to a more qualitative level, so the integrated population would feel the full benefits of the Union, which was formed together with Russia, Kazakhstan and Belarus. I mean, we're talking about the fact that those possible contradictions that will be among the country's participants should be eliminated in an expeditious manner and on a conceptual basis. When such an agreement is not based on such conditions, cross-border positive cooperation is out of the question. It all goes spontaneously. It should be at the level of agreement between the leaders of the areas that border both Russia and Kazakhstan, or higher between leaders of the two countries. And it is necessary to translate it into these conceptual relationships, those agreements which in legal terms are immutable as in the European Union.
между руководителями областей, которые граничат с обеих сторон, России и Казахстана, или по высокой воле руководителей двух стран. А нужно это перевести в плоскость таких концептуальных отношений, тех договоренностей, которые в правовом отношении являются незыблемыми, как вот в Европейском Союзе.
Businesses look at the opportunity in the Eurasian Economic Union quite ambiguously. Kazakhstan and other Common Space members have been practicing import substitution for quite a while now, and opening any market is not perceived well, especially in the business environment, because most of the production is mainly for the replacement of goods from the outside, and the outside is considered competition.
Регионы это наиболее чувствительные
Regions are the most sensitive subjects of the Russian-Kazakhstani relations, as they are the first to feel all the advantages and all the problems facing our country. And in the economic part, of course, we have seen a number of negative factors in the economic sphere, which relate primarily to the influence of external conditions, the devaluation of the ruble, tenge today. And of course, it is very important to coordinate the work of the expert-level analysts in Russia and Kazakhstan, so that our countries, as it is happening now, didn't work on their problems separately. We are in the common economic space, we're in the same boat, and by and large we have to develop joint strategies to exit the crisis of states that fall in our economy. And of course, these answers should be joined, not only at the level of heads of governments, but also at the level of experts. But the potential is there.
Конечно, эти ответы должны быть совместными не только на уровне глав правительств, но и на уровне экспертного сообщества. А потенциал для этого есть.
Я полагаю, что роль регионов, она была, остается значительной. То есть некоторое время у нас внедрялась более централизованная модель федерализма.
Well, I believe that the role of the regions was and remains to be significant. That is, while we like to introduce more centralized model of federalism, but today, as the economic crisis takes place, hence the possibility of the center to consolidate resources, and then they are distributed between the territories. It is limited. So the activation of regions, intensification of their capabilities, it is on the agenda, I think, that the transition to such a policy is more focused on the regions, and it will happen soon. And so, interregional cooperation between the regions of Russia and Kazakhstan, it will grow to be more active, and especially in the more advanced regions, and the regions with the greatest economic potential of the Russian Federation will play a major role in overcoming the crisis, mitigating the crisis that is taking place in Russia today, we're seeing, and of the consequences, which we all see too. Well, I think that interregional cooperation between the regions of the Russian Federation and Kazakhstan also played a role in improving the socio-economic situation, that is, in our two countries.
В улучшении социально-экономической ситуации то есть в наших двух странах.
There was a lot of external economic challenges related to the fall in commodity prices, the main export commodities in Russia and Kazakhstan. This has affected the rate of national currency. It affected the economic behavior of our business and citizens. In particular, many Kazakhs, after cheapening of the ruble, rushed shopping in the Russian Federation. Now Kazakhstan was forced to devalue its national currency. It actually affects economic relations between the two countries. And as it was said today, the mutual trade turnover unfortunately began to decline. And this is a serious trend that must be reversed. Therefore, the problems of today's roundtable were very urgent.
Проблематика сегодняшнего круглого стола очень актуальна. The accession of Kyrgyzstan into the Eurasian Economic Union was actively discussed. To adapt the economy, the Kyrgyz Russian Fund was created with a total capital of $1 billion. This will finance the highest priority sector, and for the technical sphere, $200 million was allocated from the Russian Federation and $100 million from the Republic of Kazakhstan.
In early August, the border between Kazakhstan and Kyrgyzstan was opened. And of course, it makes sense to talk more about the Kazakh-Kyrgyz border area. That's just in light of the economic consequences that would entail the entry of Kyrgyzstan into the EAU. While there are no serious calculations made by experts on this subject, of course, there is a fear of growth of Chinese exports through the territory of Kyrgyzstan to Kazakhstan and then Russia. I think these fears are largely justified, of course, and a lot will depend on how well the work will be provided on the border of Kyrgyzstan and China. Kazakhstan and Russia, of course, are making significant efforts that have made this area more transparent and efficient to work. But nevertheless, the risk is certainly there. We need a very serious analytical work, and much will depend on how the situation will develop further in the economy of Russia and Kazakhstan, which will be linked to the price of oil, of course.
Риски, безусловно, существуют. Нужна очень серьезная такая работа аналитическая, и много будет зависеть от того, как будет раскладываться ситуация дальше в экономике России и Казахстана. А это будет связано с аналитикой, конечно.
Вступление Кыргызстана уже в качестве полноценного члена в Евразийский экономический союз.
Kyrgyzstan's entry as a full member is already in the Eurasian Economic Union, contributes to the intensification of, say, cross-country relations in the field of economy, labor market, because we have intensified migration. The fact that the market of the Kyrgyz economy, well, for all its size, it is not so significant as to significantly destabilize the situation, well, or significantly improve it, respectively, in Kazakhstan or Russia, but the influence is felt. We are all interested in the stable development of Kyrgyzstan's political, economical situations. The fact that it will integrate quickly included in the integration processes in the overall economic program. That is, for what would be its potential, and also worked on their own interests and the interests of the Eurasian Economic Union.
Евразийского экономического пространства.
That is, for what would be its potential. It also worked on their own interests and the interests of the Eurasian Economic Union. In fact, relations with Kyrgyzstan, they have always been unproblematic, both for the Russian Federation and Kazakhstan. Well, and secondly, no one needs for Kyrgyzstan to experience all coups and revolutions because of their economic distress, and it is the main reason for dissatisfaction with the local community. All the same, a very large migration potential of this country. And it is a serious help for Kyrgyzstan in terms of investment, because they are experiencing a very dry investment flow from Western states. And the second, it is the opportunity for Kyrgyz goods to enter our market. First, some businessmen showed dissatisfaction with this fact. Yes, fear of competition. But really now, after the devaluation of the national currency, Kyrgyz goods, they may replace the appreciated imports, because they are cheaper and in principle of a quite acceptable quality. Yes, there is light industry, food and so on. So this is a chance for them and for us, for the pockets of our citizens.
Experts are increasingly talking about the studying of advantages and disadvantages of the integration with global challenges and trends, as well as to develop a common view with the problems of integration within the common economic space. As a result of today's meeting, concrete proposals and recommendations will definitely increase the acceleration of the integration within the Eurasian Economic Union. You've been watching Global Talk. I'll see you soon on Kazakh TV.